will be talking through the Champions of Coding competition. This program is about taming the internet. That was a PDF file, which was complicated issue. I can see the former coding champions, so a warm welcome to you. The others, for the others, have a message. Please do try to find out what you think about coding. Please try coding yourselves. I will tell you what we're doing, why we are making people acquainted, young people acquainted with programming, with coding. But I will start with my personal story on a personal note. I just realized I have that other screen in front of me. I am a Polish language teacher by trade. There was a time in my life when I was teaching Polish in a primary school. After 8 years, I decided to change my life, but without leaving the school. I was encouraged to become a programming teacher, and I accepted that proposal without realizing what coding is about. I gathered around me a group of volunteers. During my first class, I asked these young people, okay, now what would you like us to do? That was the worst question, but also the best in terms of what I could possibly have answered them. Because if you ask these people, they would inevitably answer that they want to program to create a game. But what the game had to be about, that escaped them, and me too. So the state of ignorance of the educator, of the let's say guide, is the best possible thing you can start with in programming. So this is how my personal story started. We teach programming from the earliest age. We are present also in the preschool facilities. We try to teach 5 years old to code, and we do it in a very specific way. We induce them into the programming world. We do not start with computers. We attempt to teach them first that programming is about a certain way of thinking. That is what we try to tell them, to educate them in. For us teachers and educators, the best possible picture that motivates us could be that. Could be this. We will see a couple of children working on the devices, but also you will see how they work without that device, because before you give an electronic device or a computer to a child, you have to go about this in a very specific way. We emphasize that a device given to a child cannot be one of those holy group. For example, parents punish the children by depriving them of a tablet or a computer, and that puts that equipment on a kind of a pedestal, like a holy grail. We teach the children instead to view those devices as a tool. So we need to show them that they are just items similar to a pencil or notepad. So we tell our children that tablets are a part of our school equipment. So we use tablet only where we need it. And I refer to that as a hygiene of working a device. The way the children manipulate and handle tablets and computer plays a very important role to the further development of that child. Using new technologies needs always to be coupled with a knowledge of the principle of safe handling of the internet and the machines. We don't want to leave the children to their own devices, so to speak. This is sometimes what we see very often, like children in a corner or in a couch browsing something or doing something on a tablet, clicking or tapping. And we see very often parents giving a tablet or a phone or a smartphone to the child, tossing that to their children just to be left alone, to have some free time. Very often children are very engrossed with what they do, so the parents realize it gives you quite a leeway. But what can we do to protect children against various hazards? So under the project, the Coding Champions, we decided to start working with the children offline, so without the devices. We tried to teach them how the programming train of thought or the way of thinking should be like. And we selected several exercises to train them in that ability. We established a digital center together with the Warsaw University. We run a poll or a survey, including several interviews with the preschool teachers and parents of preschool children. You can find the findings or the results of that survey under this address. Also, the digital center and our website, the Champions of Coding, show those results. It's a very interesting score because nobody before that tried to survey the preschool children. The kindergarten, in terms of digital competencies, is still a barren land. And this is not good a situation, because also in the kindergarten children are exposed to various devices, so we should teach them how to use those devices as early as possible. So I refer you to the report, and in a moment I will tell you about one more aspect of our project, namely the parents, because you can possibly guess what the results of our teacher survey was. Early in their career, the digital competences are absent, but we try to develop these digital competences as a, let's say, guarantee for them to be able to browse or roam the digital world and be guided to the children.
Now, about the parents, and it was surprising for me that kindergarten teachers didn't want to play the role of the expert or a person able to tell parents what to do or transfer knowledge from their training courses. So they have the basic knowledge, but they don't want to face parents to transfer the knowledge. So at the beginning, there was a need for us, external experts, to organize workshops for the parents. For us, this was a challenge. Well, we had to go to parents of children in kindergarten and talk to them about programming, about the equipment, etc., and also to face several myths and that are present in these parents' heads, and also face the generally accepted beliefs. Why do you want to give equipment to my kid? My kid is not using that, which is not true. And the second possible response, why should he or she use it more if already now he's overusing it? And we also had to face the myth that parents are resistant to workshop activities. There is a 15 minutes of a distance, temporary distance, and then when they see that there is a partnership between them and us, and that we trust in their knowledge, parental knowledge, and they do not have the knowledge, but they really want to obtain it, and sometimes they feel ashamed to ask their teachers how to guide a child through the IT introductory course. But then parents were approaching teachers and Anya, what were the applications that you discussed with children? Because I want to continue that at home. So we initiated the joint approach to our children of both the teachers and parents. And here is a quote from the report. Many parents lack primary knowledge, which would allow them to effectively teach their children in IT, but they are really willing to get the knowledge. Nobody knows everything, and I think that when we speak of security, IT, technology in general, we never know everything, and this is why we have to do something about that. And this is our program called Cooking Masters. So some teachers know something about safe internet, while it is important to get deeper, to deepen the knowledge, upgrade it, update it, and we have a model for a programming teacher with particular features. In our opinion, the most important, the key features, and they are not just features of the programming teacher, they simply are features of a good educator or a teacher. You may have problems with reading it, but searches, learns with the students, appreciate the mistakes. An important factor, shares experience, not necessarily as an IT specialist. Technology is not a field just for IT specialists. Develops the hobbies and passions of his, her students. gender is not important, and it's not true that men are better than women in programming. Must be patient, has a vision of a holistic education. I do not know is a educational opportunity. So this is something when I for the first time faced the class, I did not know anything, and this pushed us forward, collaborates and upgrades the knowledge, updates the knowledge. So openness is very important. And I see that a lot good things for digital education and safety is done by teachers themselves, and maybe you know part of that. This is an example of Jolanta Okuniewska from Olsztyn. She was in a final of the Global Teacher Prize. She's doing a lot good for IT or digital education for the minors. And this is close to my heart, what she is doing. Technology poses threats, but if we know what we are doing, if we are sufficiently creative, we are able to protect ourselves. And another quote, Jola runs a blog, tableciaki.blogspot.com, and it will be easy to find on the internet. So if you just write Jola Okuniewska, you will read about how to introduce technology to children. Another example. All right, I see I have 5 minutes left. Is the kindergarten educator, and she's showing first of all how beginning with offline contact, we can infect children with programming. There are a lot of hints how to do it. It's called coding on a carpet. A very good teacher from Lubuskie region. We here have also Lubuskie people. Joasia Panasewicz. She runs a blog called Small Programmers, and she's describing how, together with her young students, plenty of hints, and I strongly recommend for you. And one more thing. One more example of teachers, but teachers from a special school. We are everywhere, and we keep talking about the fact that everyone can program. And here is an example of a teacher in new technology in special school. Special school is a school for children with mental disabilities. And finally, a review of the students' work, showing that the students infected with the passion and the idea of their teacher can do wonderful things, and they learn from us, and we should not forget that. We also program using Scratch, and this was prepared for the Safe Internet Day, but we could go deeper and show you how many projects are run in the theme of safe internet. Children like this issue and they know it. I have also found some mottos of Scratch projects, but which I like. Read carefully the rules. This is not nice for children, but still they remember that. Computers are safe and very useful for learning. And finally, remember, always say if anything is wrong. And if we manage to transfer this motto to them, then we, the adults, can be helpful. This is contact.